here we have the story. Michael Cohen admits to stealing from the Trump organization while clawing back Stormy Daniels' hush money. Of course, all of the more left-wing outlets are still going to try and make the claim that the Trump organization knew they were paying up this $130,000 reimbursement, which I doubt. So here's what they say. The reimbursements to Cohen for the hush money payment, which Mr. Trump paid out in monthly $35,000 installments in 2017, totaled $420,000. As part of the reimbursement plan, Cohen had also billed the Trump organization $50,000 plus taxes for money that Cohen was supposed to pay to the tech firm Red Finch. He gave Red Finch a brown paper bag filled with $20K in cash, still owed the vendor $30 for the contract, he testified. The initial payment was only enough to placate him for the time being. He said, I still needed his service and I needed his availability. You stole from the Trump organization, defense attorney Todd Blanche asked. Yes, sir, Cohen replied. Mr. Blanche also asked whether he has ever pleaded guilty to larceny or paid back any of the money to the Trump organization that he stole from them. He did not. So basically what ends up happening is this. The reimbursement payments ultimately included $130,000 to Ms. Daniels, $50K to Red Finch, $60K bonus, and $180,000 to compensate for taxes. There's only one way this makes sense. If these are reimbursements, you don't pay tax liability on them. Okay, so let's just play this game. Cast Brew Coffee, right? We own Cast Brew Coffee, but it is a different company that does different things. Timcast Media Group. In the event there is any kind of crossover and Cast Brew ends up covering a cost that ultimately should be the responsibility of Timcast, Timcast does a flat reimbursement. Let's say it's $100. They say, here's the $100 back. You paid at the time. Let's say it's a guy walks up and says this parking bill for your vehicle is $100, and they're only Cast Brew has the money on hand and say, okay, we'll reimburse us and we'll cover the cost of the vehicle. We don't pay taxes on that. It's a reimbursement for a business expense. The only way this makes sense, in my view, they gave $180,000 tax compensation to Cohen because they had no idea what any of the money was for. I explained this a couple weeks ago. I said, I bet Cohen was invoicing the Trump organization, not the administration, the organization, and they were just paying it out. They're a multi-billion-dollar organization, and here's the lawyer with an invoice to say, yeah, whatever. They didn't itemize it. And so when he says, oh, I need another 180 for taxes, they're like, sure. I think it's fair to say, if that is true, it's not just $60K he stole, but the 130 on top. They had no idea what they were paying for. They thought they were paying services. So where the $60K number comes from is what we can say. The media, the court, there's been no ruling yet on whether Trump is innocent or guilty, although I think everybody who's paying attention thinks it's absurd and he's innocent. But what they're saying is by taking the $30K, putting it in his pocket, and then getting the $50K expense, getting tax liability on top, which is $30K, and then putting that in his pocket, he lied to get a $60,000 bill on top of the money that he was actually owed. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see how this trial. I'll say one last thing. I really thought there was a possibility that on the last day of the prosecution's case, they were going to slam the piece of paper on the table where it's like, I, Donald Trump, hereby request Michael Cohen reimburse Stormy Daniels so that nobody finds out, blah, 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 signed Donald Trump, notarized in the state of New York, something like that. Like, here's the bombshell. Not only was there no bomb, the bombshell was for the defense. Yeah. So this is laughably insane. There's already conversations about why he's not going to prison for grand larceny, having admitted he stole this money. And the crazy thing is, even CNN is now saying that this is a worse crime than anything Trump's been accused of, and they're having him testify against Trump. One of the craziest bits of legal analysis that I saw so far was, never have we seen a prosecutor have a felony criminal case flip to try and get a misdemeanor.